Hi, greetings. It's Vanessa-Mary. Welcome back to another episode of Leading with Heart. This is a podcast that shines the light on the real lives behind leadership. My name's Vanessa-Mary, and I am the founder of the Seeds community. And it's a space that I'm creating in collaboration with other fantastic men and women. And we have honest conversations with family-owned business leaders. So this is you if you are a self-employed mum or dad, or you are a leader within a family-run business. So we know that we're not perfect, and we know our journeys are not perfect or polished, but we do have success stories. And these conversations that I'm having, they really do shine the light and the truth behind leadership, the decisions, the challenges, the growth, the moments where we're going, and also all of the chaos that happens behind us, particularly if you are in the heart of your family. Okay, because at the Seeds community, we believe that leadership isn't just about what you're building, it's about how you're building it as well, and who you are becoming along the way. So I am so honored and grateful to be having another conversation with a powerhouse of a woman who has supported me in my journey. We met each other online last year. We had the opportunity to connect, get to know each other, and I was so grateful that she became, or her organization, Silvatree Community, became the headline sponsors for last year's event, which is happening again this year. So I'm going to bring her on. We've got Eleri Cosslett with us. Hi, Eleri.
Hello.
Thank you so much. And I mean, you heard me in the introduction, Eleri, say that things are not perfect.
No.
Yes, exactly. Because
No,
I've had
look
internet issues.
Look where I am.
Exactly. Eleri's got things going off in the background, but this is how we show up. This is to me about leadership. Yeah.
Can you hang on, Vanessa-Mary? I'm being this is quite loud, actually.
No problem.
Stop the recording a minute.
Okay. What I'm doing is I'm taking Eleri off because, again, this is real life. This is literally real life. She has got a situation that came up for her. And you know what? For some, they would have called me today and they would have said, I'm sorry, this is happening. I cannot do this. Can we reschedule? But when you are a true leader, particularly when you work with integrity, you show up. I think she's back. Is everything okay?
I'm going to need to change my venue because, just to let you know, I don't want to upset the locals here. They're getting a bit upset with me, quite rightly so, because I'm sitting in the middle of the BMW Antwerp service station, or other, carrosserie as they call it, and I'm just having my car repaired. So I am going to see if I can actually. I was only here because I was making sure I could get full internet coverage. Yeah. So I'm going to have to move to.
Well, while you do that, Eleri, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to speak to the audience about this year's event. Is that okay?
Okay, that's absolutely
all right. This is how we roll. So if you are tuning in, okay, please do let me know if you are watching us live. That would be really good. I will put your comments up on the screen so we can see. And yes, I'm just going to literally tell you a little bit about this year's event while Eleri changes her location. So we are getting ready to host the third Seeds of Unlimited Success. This is a one-day action-packed family business event. Now, when I say family business event, as I said in the intro, if you are a self-employed mom or dad, or you're a leader within a family-led business, or you are running a business, or you're providing some kind of consultancy service or services that you know owners of family-led businesses would benefit from, then this event is for you. It's happening on Saturday, the 23rd of May in Nottingham at a wonderful location called Eastwood Hall. Now, I have used the venue for the last 2 years. It's absolutely amazing. The food is incredible as well. And, what I have created is an opportunity for people to literally step outside the business. So it's not about working in the business, it's working on the business, but a high level impact where you're networking with other leaders from across the UK. So Eleri, who we'll be speaking to, she's traveling from Bath. We've got other people traveling from Bath. In fact, I discovered last week that one of my masterclass leaders is actually traveling from Cornwall. I think she's ready. Eleri, are you back? Are you settled?
I'm back. I've now BMW provided you with my own office. Isn't that cool? I'm sorry, but I was in the coffee lounge area where we could juice up. And just to sort of talk to you what happens to a real business. I have a convertible car, and the plastic in the hood, which is embedded, completely shattered late last night. So you have to do this stuff on the hoof. It's life on life's terms, isn't it? But I didn't want to upset all the people in the surrounding areas, and I tried to. They very kindly have given me an office now, so I'm with you.
Hey, but this is what I said in the intro. Some other leaders would have called me up today, Eleri, and said, "I'm sorry, this situation's coming up," and I never stand in the face of judgment.
Never, ever, because we've always got. Listen, this is real life. This happens all the time, like the Sky News, isn't it? This stuff happens, and we need to deal with it. It's like, hey.
Brilliant. So thank you so much for coming back. I was just introducing the event. So I've done the introduction for the event a little bit earlier than what I planned to in this conversation. But I mean, what I have said, if you missed it, that, I'm so grateful that you were the headline sponsor last year with Silvatree. Did you want to let us know about yourself and about the Silvatree community, please?
Sure. Well, that's great. And yeah, it was a delight to sponsor last year. The thing is, whether you sponsor or don't sponsor, what is important in life is that you show up and that you take part. That's the most important thing. My whole ethos of work really is about trying to teach other people how to make money out of nothing. That's really my specialist subject if we're doing mastermind. And you know what? It's having been homeless myself, my story. I went to, Kay had a lot of wealth before I went to prison. I lost everything. We can all get into, did she do it? Didn't she do it? I'll talk to you about that individually and you can make your own mind up. Spoiler alert. But the point is, when you come out of prison, and I came out and I was absolutely homeless, it was no sofa surfing for me. I was in a homeless hostel, and I realized that, we have so much opportunity around us, right? But we are so busy sabotaging everything. It's always about, oh yeah, but if that changed in my life, that would mean I could do this. Or if I had that, I could do that. Or if I had something else, I could. Do you see? We sabotage all the time. And we live in this constant state of total ego dominance. Whereas actually what we need to learn, and I had to learn this too, is get out of our own bloody ways. That's all we need to learn. The universe is an amazing space. As you give to it, it gives back to you. It is 100% true. Now, I've got a story for that. If you don't believe me, which is one of the talks I'm doing, which is about the importance of collaboration, right? We don't live on an island of uniqueness. And we never die from the terminal disease of uniqueness. We need to embrace other people on our journey. There's no point being in a community of one person. And it's as we give to others, do they give to us, and do we grow? We grow collectively. This is why we do marketing, right? We want to build.
Eleri, this is why I love you so much, because the thing is, even today's article that I've put out, and I'll put that article underneath this podcast, was about why your North Node will not allow you to play small. And it's exactly what you've just said there. When you know that you are here to do greater things with your life, then you do need to move the ego out of the way. And it actually requires you to look in the mirror and look at the moments where you have been self-sabotaging, the moments where your ego has been making you make irrational decisions, which is actually taking you so far away from your true potential, which means that actually you are not living from a place of service for others, and you are not, in a sense, reaping any of the rewards that the universe may have for you. So this is why I love you so much.
But it is true, right? It's a weird thing to teach people, because I'm being taught myself, by the way. It's not like, oh, I've got all the answers. No, I haven't. I have dreadful days, like, this whole nonsense with the car, but these things happen. This is life on life's terms. No big deal. Nobody's died.
Yes, and that's what you said to me when you phoned.
Yeah, but my ego was busy telling me, oh my God, the whole world is... No, it hasn't, Larry. It has not collapsed. All that's happened is an inconvenience has occurred. And you have a choice. You can react or you can respond. What did I do? Of course, I reacted because, I'm human and on the journey like everybody else. But what I'm trying to explain to people is, as you give, others will give to you. This is 100% true, because I have been given an opportunity to go to Pakistan that I could have never imagined, that came on the back of me helping somebody else 20 years ago, right? That opportunity has come right round full circle to help me today.
Let's go into that a little bit further shortly, Eleri. What we're going to do is we're going to set up the conversation around the seeds framework as we did last time. And just to remind everybody, particularly those who've been following this conversation, Leading with Heart, I talk about the seeds framework with the influential leaders that I speak to here. So the first S is around strategy, support network, and sales. So I know you have a massive story around all of those things. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Silvatree community in that context of supporting entrepreneurs, whether they be self-employed mums or dads? I know that you work with people who don't have a family. How does the Silvatree community support the entrepreneur with their strategy, their support network, and their sales, please?
Well, the Silvatree community is a community that teaches you how to make money out of nothing. I built a £12 million property portfolio and I only put down 100,000. So I did it myself. When I came out of prison, I had to build a law firm up from nothing. And I used the Silvatree strategy for that. And all it is teaching people how to look at things that are right in front of their eyes and look at it differently. So we're all busy trying to, say, well, if I had that, everything would be fine. When in fact, you have all the answers right in front of your eyes. You just don't want to see them. So all Silvatree is teaching people how they can leverage or use spare capacity in their business. Question, what is spare capacity? All that is business that you have got to sell that you haven't yet sold. Something that you haven't sold, and how you can sell it for our community using our currency, and then use it with somebody else to buy something that you would normally pay cash for, that they're selling. That's all it is. It's moving that spare capacity around and getting people to fully understand how they don't need money to survive. Of course, money is important, but if you want to, the true value of Silvatree is to realize how you can take something over there from nothing and use it over here to pay for something that you would normally need to pay cash for. I've done this thousands of times and I do it every day. And it's about teaching people how you can create something from nothing. It's the same principle, whether you're building a property portfolio, whether you're buying a car, whether you're building a business, it's the same concept all the time. It's looking at what have we all got communally between us. If you have a yoga class online, you might have some spare spots. Well, why don't you sell them in silver? You can use that silver then to pay for your, for your meal at Luigi's restaurant or for your accounting services. It's about using things in terms of strategy. It's teaching people that you can be heart-centered, but you also need to start to think about how can you carry on serving your family and the communities that you live in whilst teaching them this methodology of survival, because it's about being independent of everybody else also, and about thinking differently.
No, I hear what you're saying. So we did have a hello from Pakistan. I put that on the screen. That was Zeros Company. So thank you for tuning in from Pakistan. Eleri's going to, well, maybe tell us about Pakistan.
I'll be
I
there
know
soon.
she loves Pakistan. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, what I'm going to give is an example of how I used the Silvatree community or worked with the Silvatree community last year when I was putting the event on. And a brilliant example of one of the members in the Silvatree community, Kay Reeve, who was actually doing a masterclass with me, and she paid for the masterclass in cash and also in the Silvatree currency. So I've done the same this year. I do have your wonderful man nagging me because I haven't put the offer on the marketplace properly. But for some of them that already know about this offer, I've actually said to them that they can pay for their ticket this year in cash and then in silver as well. So it's just an example of how silver or silver.
Are they allowed to pay for it in cash and in? You said in cash and in. Are they paying twice? Are they paying
and in silver?
Do you mean half and half, or do you mean all?
No.
What do you mean? Because you said
Well,
and.
they had the early bird offer. So these particular Silvatree members, they because they know the value of coming to Nottingham, they got in early. So they were given I gave them a discount code which actually reduced the price of the offer, but I was doing that for all community networks. And then they were giving me a payment in silver towards so it was towards their ticket, if you want to look at it.
So you were offering them something part cash, part silver, because
yes.
You see, in my law firm, that's what I do. I offer clients. I mean, sometimes I'll do something 100% in silver.
Yes.
And something not. But a really good example, actually, talking about Kay Reeve. Kay Reeve is an amazing human being, actually. And she has developed this amazing emotional intelligence program, which is just personally bang on this sort of stuff, because it's like the ego, looking at moods, how to respond and not react. Eleri, I'll be doing this soon. And but we did with Silvatree, and Kay did this also. We also did a big fundraiser for Ben.
Oh, she was brilliant. Yes.
For his orphanage. Now, Ben, for those of you who don't know, he's another amazing person that we sponsor. So we raised £3,500 in cash, and I think 2,500 in silver for his orphanage. And we were able to, by putting on a brilliant event, Gareth Wax was amazing. He compared it. We had some amazing auction items. It was just brilliant. Ian from Synaptic Bridge did some brilliant graphics. But, you know, all of these people contributed time and their services. All of those are Silvatree members, right? So it's about widening our scope and looking for, you know, how can we get sales? How can we get money, but do things differently? How can we all collectively find out who does what in our community? And maybe one of the things I do, you know, the other business I run, which is Love Entrepreneurs, and what we specialize in there is building businesses. And we're doing it at the moment with Kimbo Rocks, which is Kim has Down syndrome. And we're going to get a team of people around Kim. One is graphics, one is audio, one is video, one is digital design, one is digital marketing, one is PR, law, obviously me, accountancy, blah, blah, blah. But all these people are giving of their time, and we're actually creating an equity-related business. Everybody will have a stake in this business. And look at what the business is now going to do.
Incredible. I'm hoping to meet Kim, actually, because I've not finalized it with her mum, but her mum, Heather, she should be coming to Nottingham. So hopefully Kim will be there. But, you know, these are very brilliant examples that we shared. And I just want to let everybody know that for me, one of the simplest ways that I understood the Silvatree currency was more of a fair way of a bartering system. So lots of entrepreneurs could say, oh, Eleri, can you give me some law services? And then in return, I will give you maybe a spot on my program and some other things that I do. So I do emotional fitness coaching. Yeah. So Eleri could say, okay, well, the cost of that would be X amount of pounds. So you've got to tell me the cost of your and how much your coaching would be. So what I love about the Silvatree community is, in effect, because I talk to people about energy exchange and how actually the currency that we're using, that we know to be Great British pounds, if you're in England or whatever your currency is called, that is just a symbol of the energy that you are exchanging from soul to soul. So this is where the Silvatree, for me, the community comes in, because it's a live database. You can see the transactions. I actually do account for it within my business. So my accountant, I think I blew their mind, Eleri, when my accounts were being done, because they were like, what is this? So I actually gave them access to my Silvatree account so that they could see all the transactions. And then on my ledger, it's actually accounted for how much silver I've got.
Yeah, I mean, two things to just, if I may interject, just as a correction. So this is a business bartering program, but it's better than bartering, because, you know, with bartering, we have to exchange services. But what happens if you don't want what
don't want it? Exactly.
You don't want my legal service, but you need, you know, digital design work or marketing or whatever. The point is, the exchange enables anybody to trade their spare capacity with each other. And don't forget, it's only when you don't have a cash paying client. It's not like you have to do this permanently and forever. This is just a top up when you do have an opportunity to sell something. And on that note, you need to go and get your accountant to join Silvatree.
I know you keep badgering me to do that, and I definitely need to have that conversation. Eleri, now let's move on to emotional well-being. So this is the E in seeds, and I think we've touched on it already, because you've already spoken about the ego. You've already spoken about, you know, holding back. Don't react. Look at how you're going to respond. Let's go deeper into that part of the conversation, please, in terms of what are your observations, because what you're doing with the Silvatree community and Love Entrepreneurs, you are actually surrounded by a lot of energy when people come onto those calls. And I know predominantly you're working online with people. They're coming onto so that energy and that emotion that they bring in onto the calls. I mean, I can see sometimes it can go this way or that way. So do you want to talk about emotional well-being in the sense of maybe how, as entrepreneurs, we can maybe address certain things that we don't have awareness of? Let's put it in that kind of soft, gentle way.
Well, you know, you raise a great point. I mean, one of the things that frustrates me is that I know how to build a business because I've done it so often. And that people are, you know, I provide a report for people in Love Entrepreneurs on how to do it. And then you discover they're not really ready, or they're not really willing to do what it takes. It doesn't have to be a nightmare, actually, guys. It does not. It's about being an entrepreneur is about the journey. It is not about the destination. Nobody wakes up one morning and goes, oh, you know what, I want to be a billionaire. It doesn't work like that. It's that, remember that energy and that fun in your step that you have when you decide one morning, wow, I have this business idea. You feel light, you feel, you know, united with that universe, you feel on fire. Then you start the hard work, and then the drudge and the dirge started, then the self-doubt starts, and all of that. So the one message I would always say to people, you need to keep your energy levels tip top. You need to keep your mental health tip top, and you need to keep your, if you don't have a spiritual program, you need to get one fast.
Get one fast.
That is the absolute key, because when your mental energy drains, the ego kicks in and goes, told you so, and all the negative thinking starts. Always keep yourself in that state of otherness. Keep your heads, if you like, in that cloud of hope, inspiration, positivity. Amazing things, positive things happen to positive people. It doesn't happen to negative people. It's very rare that you see an entrepreneur like someone like Elon Musk. When is he ever down? He's never down. He's always creating and moving and shaping and doing. And we have to do the same thing. And guess what? The other thing say it's not a competition. There is no such thing as a competition. Some people will be lucky. But you know what? When my mortal life here is finished, I'll never look back and go, well, why wasn't I more famous? Or why wasn't I this? It's about how much fun did I have? Did we help somebody? And did they get it? And did we help them move forward to that next stage? That's what this is. That's what service is about. It's not about claiming, oh, look, I need to write a book. No, I don't. I just need to keep on showing up and doing the do is what I need to do.
I was going to say, I agree with you in the sense of, there was something you said there. Oh yeah, the evolving. For me, I'm really stepping into my soul journey. So my emotional well-being is for me about my alignment. And in fact, I'm starting to talk about this more, where I've actually got a talk which is titled The Alignment Advantage. And for me, that really does go back to what you said about, if you don't have a spiritual program, please find one. Obviously, a positive spiritual program, because let's be honest, Eleri, some people can actually, be almost channeling some negative entities and call that a spiritual alignment. Okay, so you've got to be clear exactly. For me, it's about positivity, like you said, doing good. Within yourself your own moral compass. Hopefully you've been brought up with some grounding of what it takes to be a decent human being. Okay. Now, for me, that's part of your spiritual program, as what Eleri said. And we've just got a comment here. Hi, we've got another comment. Who's this? Oh, it's from Zeros Company in Pakistan as well. One of my friends has just started his own business. He's a professional video editor working in multiple niches, but he doesn't have the skill to grab the client, how to sell his skills. Well, this is what, between the Silvatree community, Love Entrepreneurs, and the Seeds community, we are supporting those who are wanting to get into business but really don't know where to get started. So Zeros Company, I don't know how it works on YouTube for people sending in emails or whatever, but my email address is connect@vanessa-mary.com. Drop me an email, and then between Eleri and I'm sure we will be able to support your friend. But yeah, that emotional alignment, Eleri, is very, very important, because again, if we don't, the ego just goes off on one, don't you think so? Where it becomes all about self, even when the one in front of you may be telling you, oh, it's not about me, it's about you. Again, for me, if your emotional alignment's there, your intuition can tell you things that are not being said.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely correct. I'm often, you can often just you watch people do it. How many judgment is a negative, full stop. How often have I walked into rooms and made up my mind what everybody else is thinking about me at that given point in moment? I don't even know those people. So I have learned that what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yes,
that's rule number one. It is none of my business. I know it's a weird one, but actually it is none of my business. Because there will always be people who will think X, Y, Z. What am I going to do? Chase the negativity, try and close it down. Don't close it down. Go forth and multiply. Go forth with your message, but you've got to work on the self-confidence to keep doing that. And that comes from developing a really strong vision for you and it's not about a vision for you, i.e. I want to become a billionaire. It becomes a vision for you. What should my life be? What do I want my life to be? When all is said and done, I often ask people this. I said, what would you like to have somebody write on your tombstone?
Yeah.
If they should characterize or summarize your life, what message would you like to leave? to the next generation. That is a real showstopper there. Everybody without it, nobody has ever said to me, oh, I want them to put, I made loads of money and that was great. No. It's always about service. I helped people. I did this. I was useful. I was of service. I supported this. I did that. It's not, I made loads of money, right? So let's dispel the myth. Money is an energy. Get rid of it. Money comes when you're 100% sure of your idea and you work with the universe. You learn to work in alignment with your soul purpose, right? But somebody once had a business called the Soul Mechanic. I can't remember. And everyone laughed.
Oh, yeah, it's Kay Downing.
Kay Downing.
Another Kay.
Everybody thought it was a silly idea.
No, it was a brilliant name. She's actually changed the name now.
I thought it was a really good name, actually, and because that's what we're doing. We're mechanizing our souls all the time. And actually, if you think about it, you come into this world with nothing, you leave with nothing. Everything in between is just noise. So make the time count that you're doing something valuable, measurable, and that you help other people on the way. Because as you help, the laws of the universe are basically the laws of attraction. Yes. You give. Do not become resentful, please, of giving, ever. If you're becoming resentful of giving, this is a big red flag, and this is your ego talking back to you. If you give freely. Do not expect anything in return. Yeah. Because we always, and I do too, we trip up on this one big time. We always trip up on this one. Oh, yeah, I helped, and they give nothing back. Learn to give freely. That's a note to self.
I agree with you on that one, Eleri, but what I will say in terms of emotional well-being, I will say just be mindful of the balance of giving. So yes, give freely, but if you feel that people are taking advantage of you, because some of us are over-givers, Eleri, and that's something that I'm having to learn within myself. I'm a people pleaser. Why have I been a people pleaser? What is it about me that I feel that I have to overgive? So what I'm learning to do is, yes, I still give from my heart, but I'm actually at a point of, actually, what is this about? Is this because there's part of me that doesn't feel accepted? Is there a part of me that feels that you are going to abandon me? Is there do you know what I mean? So I am questioning, but this is a personal thing with myself, because I felt that in some of the relationships, in some of the connections, and we are having this conversation about emotional well-being. So this is very important for anybody listening in. I feel as though there has not been that balance. Not that I wanted anything in return, but if I felt as though I was being taken advantage of, that meant that my emotional alignment was going to go down. You were going to pull me on a lower.
Which is precisely why, and I'm exactly the same, by the way, which is exactly why our spiritual programs are so important, because they should, if we're doing it right, notes to self here, if we're doing it right, they should keep us in balanced check. Overgiving. So, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I don't mind breaching my anonymity. You know this. I follow the 12 steps of AA, and that is my boundary journey. And I must then, my sponsor always asks me, why are you doing this? What's the motive, right? And she is bloody brilliant, unfortunately, at being able to read me when I can't read myself. And she will find that motive. Now, if this motive is selfish, right, not selfless, selfish, she'll find it. And she will be able to pinpoint in me, right, now that is why you're feeling resentful. If you're going to give, you need to give freely.
Yes.
With no expectation of getting anything back. Know in your own mind what you are doing before you start it. And do not have, because I fall flat. I think we all do, because we're human, right? Oh, I've helped so many people, but look, they haven't, Ian Genius is a brilliant.
I don't know if you. Well, I think you know what I'm saying. I feel that you can give freely, but because you've got a big heart, people just take advantage of that.
But
so I'm talking about the taking it. Not that you're wanting anything in return, but there's something in the other the recipient of that love, let's just call it love, because as we know, love is the highest frequency. Okay. So the recipient of that love almost sees that your kindness is a weakness, and then they start to take advantage of that, which then means that you pick up on this and your emotional well-being can have a negative effect, because your awareness of how they're receiving your love and what they're doing with it, actually you're thinking, wait a minute, I don't want anything from you, but you're taking advantage of me. That's what I'm talking about.
But that is because I suspect you haven't yet scoped 360 the journey of handing over.
You see, yeah, this is where I am now. I'm on release. I'm released.
Yeah. Now, this is where, this is, I mean, you're not a recovering alcoholic, right?
No.
To talk, I mean, AA language often does this, and I know that Kay does this, and she teaches people to just hand over to the universe. And I've had to do that in my own businesses, but this is about, learning boundaries. But
boundaries, release.
The point to make here, I think, is this: we always have a choice, right? We can just say no. And I, for example, I'm terrible at saying no. Oh, yes, no. So what I'm sorry, I'm fiddling with my hair at the moment like hell. Part of my journey is knowing when to say no, and to taking on a task and committing to finishing it, and then being involved 100% in the moment, and then letting it go and picking it up. Because what I'm finding, I'm re-engaging with that practice now. I'm finding I'm lighter. I'm not retaining things in my head. I'm not getting as stressed as I was, because I was, getting like, we spoke about this, getting very overwhelmed with, chasing. I was chasing stars all over the place. I'm thinking, I'm going to stop chasing. I'm not going to chase anymore anything. Let the energy come to me. If people want it, great. If they don't, fine, no problem. We'll find another energy pod that does. And at the moment you stop chasing it, it comes. What you have to do, I think, or what I've been taught to do, is let the universe do it for you.
Yeah, that's the release.
Yeah, that's the release, exactly. Stop getting in the way of the universe doing its thing.
Eleri, let's move on to the next E, and I'm going to talk now about enterprise growth. So we're still on this same train of thought. When we release, how does that impact us as entrepreneurs with our growth? So when I talk about enterprise growth, I don't just mean the revenue in terms of our sales. I'm actually coming at it from a perspective of the internal growth, that personal growth, who we're becoming. One of my mantras is I'm stepping into the biggest vision of my life. So to do that, I cannot be the same woman that I was last year, even when you met me. So talk to us about that entrepreneurial growth, please.
Well, I'm not an expert, but then what is an expert these days? I just basically go from energy flow to energy flow is how I do it. And as I open up to the universe and give to it, it gives to me. Simple as. It brings me people, it introduces me to opportunity, and I grow accordingly. And I've learned to align myself now with people who feel, I'm not interested in people who just want to make money. Making money is easy. What's hard is to keep yourself happy, because my focus now is to keep myself balanced and happy. It's not on making money. If I am out of sorts or out of balance, there is something wrong within me in my world. Something is not right. So I focus more on that now than I do on what does my balance sheet say. And actually, weirdly, the moment I've stopped worrying about chasing this or that or the third thing or the 85th thing, things just happen because I'm letting it happen. I'm getting out of my own way because I have been the one that's been blocking this road.
Well, I think there's an emotional balance sheet. And that's the part that we're not checking in with enough. What's my emotional balance sheet? I actually thought about something today, and I think it was Stephen Covey's book, and he spoke about where we leave emotional deposits in people, but if you don't leave enough deposits, I can't remember the actual term. Someone will watch this and tell me what it is properly. But it was almost like you can be withdrawing, you didn't put enough deposits in, and actually over time the other person notices that. So when you see a change within them, it isn't something that necessarily happened in that instant, it's something that's happened overnight. So this emotional balance sheet rather is very, very important, that you check in with yourself. Where is my emotion? What is the balance of my emotional account right now? And how has that impacted other people? How does that refer to enterprise growth? Well, for me, we are told don't talk to strangers, but actually, who actually gives you money? Because my family haven't given me much. Well, one member of my family has been very generous, but well, maybe two. But you know what I mean? It's strangers, effectively, when we're in business that will like what you're doing.
Do you know what I actually think of? You see, something that has been told to me before, but I never really stopped long enough to think about it. And it's a concept that's come up for me probably over the last couple of days, and that is, we are all one.
Oh, yeah.
We're all one. There is no such thing as family or not family, actually. We're all one family. We're all united by virtue of just being human.
Consciousness.
Isn't that, yeah, I mean, call it what you like. Isn't that really what unites? Isn't that really what brings us together? Because by being, one of the things, I suppose, I was watching the launch of Artemis 2, right? And watching those amazing pictures back that they, beamed out to us, from on high back to planet Earth, and looking at planet Earth as a unifying thing. And they just said, many astronauts who've been to the moon, and there are not that many of them, but they've all said the same thing. They've said they now work for humanity. They don't see nationality or country. No, they see humanity. Because they've been out to that place, they've looked back over Earth, and they're thinking, why are they all fighting? What is the point? Can they not see how irrational that all is? Because when you look at that, when you look back to from the universe on the little speck is Earth, we are tiny. And therefore, you talked about strangers who gives you money. We're all united, and it's the energy, as you said yourself, what happens is that energetic exchange between species that create family and create community. So really what you're looking for when people talk about who is my tribe, what really mean is who is my energy alignment. You're looking for an energetic connection is what you're looking for. And that's something.
Oh gosh, Eleri, I think we've been so deep on this conversation, which is funny because I'm actually looking at the framework, and I'm not going to take us on the framework, which is the seasonal framework. We're going to go to the D, which is deeper discovery. And that part of my framework is actually for those who I say that I do this inner work with, this more, deeper work. I know that I've got this energetic alignment with them, and you're definitely one of them. I mean, like when I met you, you know what state I was in last year. It was ego. It was like, I don't need any help. I'm fine. This event's fine. But what was happening internally, I was at the lower end, the lowest end of that emotional vibrational scale, because I was grieving, which meant that the signal that I was beaming out of me unconsciously was not at that right frequency. And I needed those around me, like yourself, Heather, Humera, who were operating at that higher frequency. You could see what was happening. You were like, no, you do need support. This was the deeper work. So let's talk about D, as in the deeper discovery, please.
Gosh, well, I don't know. Are we? Well, listen.
I know what we could talk about. You can talk about the.
I go back to two things. I go back to the importance of a spiritual program.
Yes.
You come to this earth, and when you leave, you've got nothing. Everything else in between is just noise, right? Think of your impact. It's about everything we do. Actually, is about feelings.
Yes.
It's about feeling good. We can all remember how we felt great and we didn't have a new pair of Nike trainers or a new Cartier
True.
watch or a new BMW or a new skyscraper to play with. It was actually, if we think about it, it was that feeling that we had. We felt really content, really happy. That is what we should be striving for. And
Yeah.
that in business comes with working with people who are aligned.
Mm-hmm.
When people are aligned, life becomes easier. Working with a team becomes easy. Everybody knows their lane. There's no friction, right? So, what we're aiming for is frictionless. Frictionless is what we're aiming for. We're aiming to be just like those astronauts bobbing around in the universe without friction. Because it's
Yeah.
friction, it's three things that make us unsteady: people, places, and things.
Mm-hmm.
We either get triggered by people,
Yeah.
places, or things. And under things, I mean desires or things that we want or things, oh, I haven't got that, therefore I'm going to be glum. No, up your energy game, guys. Up your energy game. All the answers are right in front of your eyes. It's just you're too busy getting out, staying in your own way and
Mm-hmm.
actually looking over there when actually the answer is right in front of your face. It's an inside job being an entrepreneur, not an outside
Not an
job.
outside job. So we go back to where you started, self-sabotage.
Hmm.
For me, what are emotions? Energy in motion. So
Hmm.
everything, I really hope that the ones who are listening to this message and listen to the replay can not only hear what's being said, but feel what's being said from Eleri and myself today.
Hmm.
Flow, one of my other mantras. If it's not easy and it's not flowing, I'm not doing it. And
So
people take offense, Larry, but this is just how I roll.
that's fine. But let me give you an example of flow and when things come right round. The Pakistan thing we were talking about at the beginning. And not quite sure what's happened to the internet, but if this is still live, then you will join me back. But I just wanted to sort of speak a bit about this because this is an example of energy exchange at its highest level. So I helped somebody once upon a time, 20 years ago, and I helped them freely. I'm not going to go into the detail, but I helped them freely. I gave them a lot of money and I saved their family business. Right now, 20 years later, 22 years later, that's come right round. And I have just landed myself a major construction project,
Wow.
which is going to make me a lot of money. Now, with making that a lot of money comes a lot of responsibility in my book, right? Because my book is not, self-aggrandisement. It's about being responsible with that money. What does the universe need me to do with that? It needs me to build orphanages. It needs me to educate people. It needs me to create full-scale enterprise hubs around the communities that we're building. It means I take the money back to the UK also in part and help and support all of those people I've been telling but haven't been listening. It will come all around. It always does because they never believe, because people self-sabotage, right? I do it and I flow in and out of it, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of that money back into the UK, and we're going to actually do the funding of businesses ourselves through Silvatree and Love Entrepreneurs and create our own fund. And it'll be a miracle fund, and it is a miracle fund. I want to call it the miracle fund actually, because but in a way, I suppose I wouldn't call it a miracle fund because this is not a miracle. This is what has been promised to us. It's written. It's been. If we go back to any spiritual practice, it is there in black, in neon light.
It's our divine inheritance,
It's our
basically.
divine inheritance. It's there for every single one of us. We can. Have you ever heard, this concept, millionaire mindset?
Yes.
That's what it talks about. It talks about we can walk around in rags if we want to. It's all about the inside and how we feel.
Yes.
If we allow somebody to take our power away from us, it is our choice. We don't ever have to do that. It doesn't matter what's happened to us. We never bow in front of others. We always hold our own power. And from that power, something happens in the electromagnetic sphere when we
Definitely.
hold power. We've all seen it. We've all look at Gandhi. Gandhi walked around in a loincloth, and yet he was feted by royals and governments alike. He had an inner power within him that exuded across continents and the world. That's what I'm talking about. It's holding that power inside.
It's being that content, the container of the energy. It's so funny because the final S is succession planning, and I just feel that what you said there was all about your aspirations to literally pass this on, but also not just pass it on, but again, you know that parable, if you teach a man to, oh, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's about, don't just give them the fish, teach them how to fish. You know the one, everyone.
To fish, yeah.
And that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Now the frustration, because I'm human, right? To suggest I'm some sort of guru would be ridiculous because I'm really not. You should have seen me yesterday. The point is I'm human too, and that means that when I get off balance, what I'm being told by the universe is get back into a state of meditation, reconnect with your higher power, find out what's not right within you. Because when it's not right within you, all that will happen is you will mirror negative energy and nasty things out to that universe. That's all that happens. And you know what? Through all the times that I danced through prison. I know people think, what an idiot, but I did because I was living in the States.
Yes, of your connecting with your higher self.
And they say, and this is the other thing, and the last lesson I want to mention, because I didn't believe this to be true, right? I really didn't believe until I experienced it myself. That my first AA sponsor said something to me that I thought, oh, yeah, whatever, when she first told me, because it was in early recovery. She said to me, I'm not worried about you, Eleri, when things are going bad for you. I'll be worried about you when things start going well, when you start making money again, because you will. That's when I'll be worried about you. And you know what? She was absolutely right. And the reason she said that was the moment we start making money and things get back onto what I call track, we forget how we got there. We forget the power we created. We forget the energy that we tapped into our higher power and how we got there. We stop doing that because we become too busy.
I definitely agree with you, Eleri. I mean, for me, I'm not going to go into my particular spiritual practice, what I do, but today I was like, no, you have not given the Most High even 15 minutes of your time, but you are sitting there doing this website, doing this. No, sometimes we just have to stop. But Eleri, this conversation has been absolutely incredible. We have had those on the live stream with us. Thank you so much for sticking with us on this journey. Let me tell you, if you have been watching this and you are based in Pakistan or overseas, the event that is being coming back on Saturday, the 23rd of May, is going to be live streamed. So you can get a virtual ticket. Eleri is giving us a talk in the Rising. So that's the first part of our day. She will be talking about collaboration in action. You've just heard Eleri just talk here off the cuff. She can tell you so many different examples. And I'm telling you, tuning into her message, even if you only take one thing from her message, it will give you the breakthrough that you need. And that breakthrough you can pass on to another. So I'm going to leave the link for this year's event underneath wherever you are watching. Please, if you can be in the room with us in Nottingham on Saturday, the 23rd of May, get your ticket. We are getting those tickets moving. We still have spaces. We want to see you there. If you are a little bit further and it's not possible, get your virtual ticket. They're only £37, okay? And if you're a Silvatree member, of course, I've given you an offer, which I do need to put on the marketplace, on the Silvatree community. So either way, please tune into this message. Eleri, it's been absolutely fantastic to be in your company again, have this wisdom, and literally we can obviously listen back to the moments that you've shared, but I cannot wait to hear your message that you'll be delivering on Saturday, the 23rd of May in Nottingham. Is there anything that you want to leave us with today, please?
Yes. Do 2 things today for somebody else. And here's the hard bit. Do not tell anybody else about it at all. See how you get on with that. That's quite a tricky one, because the reason we do this is this is how you develop one bit of developing a spiritual practice, because it's not about ego. It's not about getting plaudits from others. And just observe, because you'll be human, right? Because I do this too. And I can't wait to tell everybody about what I've done for somebody else, right? That's our ego there, wanting attention.
Yes.
The trick is, and I'm going to have to do this too, right? Because I'm out of practice. But join me in this little game.
I'm going to do it.
Observe how difficult it is, and that will tell us how. And we need to do this every single day. 2 things for somebody else. Doesn't need to be giving money or anything like that. It's just something that you do for somebody else, but you don't tell a soul about it. Because don't forget, the universe is always watching.
Always watching. That's the part that people miss. Eleri, this conversation has been absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for your time. For any of you that have been watching on the replay, please do leave a comment for Eleri and myself. Let us know that you were here. Share your energy. That's an energy exchange within itself. Giving someone a thumbs up, sharing a like, leaving a comment, and we will respond to you. But for now, this has been Leading with Heart. My name's Vanessa-Mary. I've been speaking to the incredible Eleri Haf Cosslett. She didn't put her half in today. And we call
Welsh for summer.
Oh, bless you. We can't wait to tune in with you soon. Thank you so much for your time today.